The Celestial Mandate Temple ship opened fire without warning. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Hayes had exactly 3 seconds to realize her reconnaissance shuttle was about to die. Through the reinforced viewport, she watched plasma like cathedral spires along the enemy vessel's hull rotate toward her position with mechanical precision. Mayday! Mayday! Hayes transmitted as her shuttle's proximity alarms shrieked. This is Recon 7-2 Sovereign's Pride. We are under the plasma burst struck her shuttle's starboard engine, vaporizing metal and atmosphere in a brilliant cascade of superheated gas. The small craft tumbled end over end, emergency systems, screaming as hull plates buckled under thermal stress. Hull breach in compartment 2, shouted Petty Officer Nakamura from the communication station. Life support failing. Hayes fought the controls as her shuttle spun toward the massive temple ship. Through the chaos, she glimpsed the enemy vessel's Gothic architecture, plasma cannons disguised as prayer towers, weapon ports hidden behind ornate religious symbols, hull plating that gleamed like polished bronze. Sovereign's Pride, do you copy? She called desperately. The Celestial Mandate ships are firing without provocation. We never crossed the territorial boundary. A second plasma burst caught the shuttle's main engine. The explosion threw Hayes against her restraints as molten metal sprayed through the passenger compartment. Nakamura's communication station erupted in sparks before going dark. Engine core destabilizing, announced the shuttle's AI with inappropriate calm. Recommend immediate evacuation. But there was nowhere to evacuate to. Space stretched empty between the dying shuttle and Admiral Thorne's fleet, too far for emergency beacons to reach before the craft's final destruction. Hayes keyed her personal transmitter with bloody fingers. Admiral Thorne, this is Hayes. The Celestial Mandate knew we were coming. They were waiting in ambush formation. Someone told them about our reconnaissance schedule. The temple ship's plasma cannons fired a final volley. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Hayes and her 3-person crew disappeared in expanding debris that glittered like deadly stars against the darkness. 6 light minutes away, Admiral Captain Aldrich Thorne watched the explosion through his tactical display and reached for the fleet communication system. All ships, he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of inevitable war. Battle stations. Asterisk, the emergency klaxon's piercing wail echoed through ESS Sovereign's Pride as crew members ran to combat positions. In the 30 seconds since Hayes' shuttle died, 7 ships had transformed from exploration formation to battle readiness. Fleet status. Admiral Thorne demanded from his command position. Commander Marcus Blackwood coordinated responses from multiple departments while monitoring tactical displays. All ships report ready for combat. Admiral, weapons powered, defensive systems active. Storm's End still showing reduced capability from previous engagement. Steadfast supply maintaining support position. Lieutenant Commander Kai Raven studied enemy positions through his tactical analysis station for Celestial Mandate vessels. Admiral Temple-class heavy cruisers in defensive formation around the disputed border marker. Their position to control access to the Kepler Nebula mining rights. Through the bridge's main viewport, the Celestial Mandate ships gleamed like floating cathedrals. Their hulls rose in Gothic spires topped with plasma cannon arrays, while religious symbols covered armor plating that could withstand direct bombardment. Each vessel measured twice the length of Earth ships but sacrificed maneuverability for firepower and psychological impact. Intelligence assessment. Thorne ordered Lieutenant Commander Zara Voss consulted her analysis while monitoring alien communication frequencies. They're broadcasting on multiple channels. Admiral, religious invocations, tactical coordination, and something else, encrypted transmissions using unfamiliar protocols. Something else. References to divine coordination and blessed arrangements with allied powers. They're treating our presence here as expected rather than surprising. Lieutenant Nora Stellaris coordinated fleet navigation while processing the loss of her department colleague. Hayes had trained her in advanced reconnaissance procedures. Now those skills would be tested under combat conditions. Fleet positioning, optimal for engagement. Admiral, she reported, her voice steady despite the personal loss. Enemy formation suggests they've studied our standard tactical approaches. Thorne absorbed a tactical situation while weighing diplomatic implications. The territorial boundary between Earth and Celestial Mandate space had been established by treaty 3 years ago. But political situations evolved faster than communication systems allowed. His standing orders assumed peaceful coexistence. Reality included unprovoked attacks on reconnaissance missions. Attempt communication, he decided. Standard diplomatic frequencies. Blackwood activated the fleet communication array. Celestial Mandate vessels. This is Admiral Captain Aldrich Thorne commanding Earth Space Service Fleet 7. You have attacked our reconnaissance craft without provocation. Explain your actions. The response came immediately through speakers that carried the formal cadence of religious authority. Earth Admiral, I am Priest Admiral Corvinese commanding the divine will of the Celestial Mandate. Your vessel violated sacred territorial boundaries established by divine mandate. We acted to preserve the spiritual purity of this system. Our reconnaissance shuttle maintained position within Earth's territorial space according to established boundary agreements. Your territorial agreements have been superseded by higher spiritual authority. Withdraw immediately or face divine judgment through superior firepower. Voss frowned while monitoring the exchange. Admiral, they're using terminology that suggests recent policy changes. Superseded agreements implies knowledge of diplomatic developments we haven't received. Through his command headset, Thorne heard damage control reports from the destroyed shuttle's recovery operation. No survivors, minimal debris for analysis, complete loss of reconnaissance data about celestial mandate activities in the disputed region. Tactical options, he requested. Raven highlighted enemy positions on the holographic display. Their formation prioritizes defense over maneuverability. Admiral, they're prepared for our standard attack patterns, but the positioning limits the ability to pursue if we withdraw. Assessment of their knowledge, they knew our reconnaissance schedule and positioned accordingly. Someone provided advance intelligence about our patrol patterns. Major Kane Steele monitored the exchange from his Marine Command station. Admiral, if we withdraw after they killed our people, it signals that Earth won't defend territorial boundaries or protect reconnaissance operations. Commander Lydia cross-checked medical readiness while reviewing casualty protocols. Admiral, we've lost 4 crew members to unprovoked aggression. Medical analysis of the attack suggests they targeted our shuttle specifically rather than firing warning shots. Thorne studied the tactical display showing 4 temple ships positioned to control access to the nebula mining rights. The Celestial Mandate's aggressive expansion had brought them into conflict with multiple powers. Earth's frontier fleet represented the primary obstacle to their territorial ambitions. Commander Blackwood, what's our communication lag with Earth Command? 73 days minimum for priority transmission. Admiral, 112 days for complete tactical assessment and strategic guidance. The isolation of Frontier Command meant strategic decisions couldn't wait for authorization from distant bureaucrats. Thorne bore responsibility for protecting Earth's interests, while managing diplomatic consequences that wouldn't be evaluated for months. Admiral Voss interjected, I'm detecting unusual communication patterns between the Celestial Mandate ships. They're coordinating using protocols that reference Allied intelligence and shared tactical assessments, meaning someone has provided them with detailed information about Earth fleet capabilities. Admiral, the terminology suggests systematic intelligence sharing rather than isolated reconnaissance. Through the communication system came another transmission from Priest Admiral Corvanus. Earth Admiral, you have 30 minutes to withdraw from sacred territorial space. Failure to comply will result in divine purification through plasma fire. The ultimatum created a tactical timeline while raising strategic questions about Celestial Mandate confidence. They were issuing demands from a position of apparent strength despite Earth's superior tactical doctrine and crew training. Fleet engagement. Preparation. Thorne ordered. All ships maintain defensive formation. Prepare for combat operations. Sir Stellaris said quietly. Lieutenant Hayes was attempting to map safe passage routes through the nebula when they killed her. Her reconnaissance data could have saved lives during future operations. The personal cost of frontier service extended beyond immediate casualties. Each death eliminated expertise that couldn't be replaced without returning to Earth, while hostile actions prevented completion of missions designed to protect future operations. Commander Ironwright, Thorne called through the communication system. Engineering status across the fleet. The chief engineer's voice carried the strain of managing multiple damaged systems. All ships functional for combat. Admiral Storm's End, still operating with jury-rig repairs from the depot engagement. Extended battle operations will stress our patchwork beyond safe parameters. Weapons inventory, sufficient for normal engagement duration. If they draw this into extended combat, we'll need to ration plasma charges for future operations. The tactical reality of frontier warfare meant every engagement depleted irreplaceable resources while operating months from resupply. Prolonged combat could achieve tactical victory while creating strategic vulnerability. Admiral Raven reported, enemy ships are repositioning into attack formation. They're implementing countermeasures to our standard approach patterns. Through the tactical display, Thorne watched the Celestial Mandate vessels shift from defensive positioning to offensive preparation. Their movements demonstrated detailed knowledge of Earth tactical doctrine and probable counter-strategies. Time to engagement range. 12 minutes at current approach speed. Admiral Thorne made the command decision that would define Earth's response to aggressive territorial expansion by hostile powers operating with systematic intelligence advantages. All ships advanced to engagement range. Prepare to demonstrate the cost of killing Earth citizens. The 7 ships of Fleet 7 accelerated toward battle while their enemies prepared to implement tactical knowledge provided by sources that remained hidden among the stars. Asterisk, enemy vessels are launching assault craft. Raven reported as proximity alarms echoed through the bridge. Small fighter formations moving to intercept our advance. Through the main viewport, Thorne watched swarms of Celestial Mandate fighters emerge from the temple ships' launching bays. Each craft carried the distinctive architecture of their parent. Vessels' Gothic spires housing weapon systems. Religious symbols etched into armor plating. engines that burned with purified plasma fire. Fleet response: ESS Swift Retribution and Dancing Blade moving to intercept. Stellaris coordinated from her navigation station. Phantom Strike providing cover despite reduced engine power from previous damage. The engagement began with long plasma exchanges as both fleets tested each other's defensive capabilities. Celestial Mandate temple ships fired coordinated volleys designed to overwhelm Earth armor plating through synchronized targeting, while Earth vessels responded with precision strikes aimed at specific weapon systems. Direct hit on the lead temple ship, Raven announced. Their forward plasma array is offline, but the enemy response revealed disturbing tactical coordination. Admiral Voss interjected while monitoring communication intercepts. They're implementing counter-battery fire using our own tactical manual procedures. Someone has provided them with detailed knowledge of our weapons placement and firing patterns. The battle escalated as both fleets committed to decisive engagement. ESS Iron Resolve targeted the temple ship's engine systems while operating without its forward plasma cannon since the depot engagement. The Storm's End concentrated fire on their command structure. The Celestial Mandate responded with fanatical determination, their crews chanting religious invocations while conducting aggressive boarding actions. They're launching assault pods, Steele reported from his Marine command station. Multiple boarding attempts against Iron Resolve and Storm's End. The temple ship assault pods crashed against Earth hull plating like metallic meteors. Their boarding equipment designed to cut through armor and establish beachheads for infantry assault. Each pod carried a dozen Celestial Mandate Marines equipped with plasma weapons and religious zeal. Major Steele, coordinate boarding defense, Thorne ordered. Already moving, Admiral deploying Marine squads to repel boarders. Through the communication system came reports of close quarters combat as Celestial Mandate troops fought their way through ship corridors. Their advanced tactics reflected detailed knowledge of Earth ship layouts and defensive positions. Hull breach in Storm's End. Section 7. Blackwood coordinated damage control. Boarders have reached the engineering deck. Commander Ironwright's voice carried tension as he managed fleet-wide damage control. Admiral, they're targeting specific systems life support, power distribution, communication arrays. Someone taught them our critical vulnerabilities. The tactical situation deteriorated as Celestial Mandate forces demonstrated systematic knowledge of Earth fleet capabilities. Their attacks focused on precise weaknesses while their defenses countered standard Earth assault procedures. Medical emergency in Iron Resolve. Cross-reported through the medical communication channel. Multiple casualties from boarding action. Requesting immediate surgical support. Voss continued, monitoring enemy communications while the battle raged around her station. Admiral, I'm intercepting references to coordination protocols and Allied intelligence updates. They're receiving tactical guidance from external sources during the engagement. Source identification negative, sir. The transmissions are encrypted using unfamiliar algorithms, but the tactical knowledge being shared includes recent Earth fleet modifications and updated procedures. A massive explosion rocked Sovereign's pride as Celestial Mandate plasma fire found a gap in the defensive grid. Emergency lights activated while damage control teams rushed to contain hull breaches. Damage report. Thorne demanded Stellaris coordinated system assessments while maintaining fleet navigation under fire. Hull breach in Compartment 12. Emergency bulkheads sealed. Communication array damaged but functional. The engagement intensified as both fleets committed their remaining reserves. ESS Swift Retribution executed a brilliant flanking maneuver that disabled one temple ship's main engines, while Dancing Blade's precision targeting eliminated the enemy's primary command facility, but victory came at brutal cost. Casualty reports coming in. Cross announced with professional calm that masked personal anguish. Iron Resolve reports 8 dead, 15 wounded. Storm's End has 12 casualties including 3 dead. Sovereign's Pride has 5 wounded from hull breach decompression. Steele's Marines fought desperately to repel boarders while the fleet engagement continued around them. Admiral boarding parties neutralized on Iron Resolve. Costa Sergeant Rodriguez and 3 Marines. Storm's End still fighting in engineering spaces. The battle reached its climax as both fleets exhausted their tactical options. The Celestial Mandate temple ships, damaged but functional, began withdrawing toward their territorial boundary while broadcasting religious proclamations about divine victory through superior sacrifice. Enemy forces withdrawing, Raven reported. They're maintaining defensive formation during retreat. Pursuit options. Limited. Admiral, our fuel consumption exceeded projections. Extended pursuit would compromise our ability to return to Earth territory. Thorne watched the enemy withdraw while assessing the tactical and strategic implications. The Celestial Mandate had achieved their objective, demonstrating that Earth's territorial boundaries could be challenged with acceptable casualties while testing Earth fleet capabilities under combat conditions. Fleet status assessment, he ordered. Blackwood compiled damage reports from across the 7 ships. 15 dead, 23 wounded. Significant ammunition expenditure. Multiple ships requiring major repairs. Our operational capability is reduced by approximately 30%. The cost of the engagement exceeded the strategic value of defending the territorial boundary. But withdrawal after the attack would have signaled Earth's unwillingness to protect frontier interests. Intelligence summary. Thorne requested Voss consulted her analysis while reviewing intercepted communications. The celestial mandate demonstrated detailed advanced knowledge of our tactical procedures, ship layouts, and operational capabilities. They coordinated their attack using intelligence provided by external sources, evidence, communication, intercepts, reference-blessed coordination, and divine intelligence sharing with unspecified allies. The tactical knowledge they employed included recent modifications to our procedures that wouldn't be available through normal reconnaissance. The implication extended beyond the immediate engagement. If hostile powers were sharing detailed intelligence about Earth fleet operations, every future mission faced enemies prepared with systematic advanced knowledge. Medical assessment. Thorne asked. Cross reported the grim statistics with professional detachment. 15 confirmed dead across the fleet, 23 wounded, 8 requiring extended medical treatment. Medical supply consumption exceeded emergency reserves. We're operating below minimum medical readiness for future operations. Engineering evaluation. Einright's assessment reflected the harsh realities of frontier warfare. Hull damage to 3 ships requiring major repair. Weapon systems degraded across the fleet. Fuel and ammunition consumption critical. We need resupply within 2 weeks or operational capability becomes questionable. The tactical victory had been achieved at strategic cost that threatened their ability to complete remaining mission objectives, but the intelligence implications suggested broader threats to Earth frontier operations. All ships, form defensive convoy, set course for the Altair station for emergency resupply and repairs. As the damaged fleet departed the battlefield, fundamental questions remained unanswered. The Celestial Mandate had attacked with confidence, suggesting they possessed detailed intelligence about Earth capabilities. Someone was providing systematic support to Earth's enemies while the fleet operated in isolation from command authority. The intelligence war was escalating, and Earth was fighting battles they didn't know existed. 3 hours after the engagement, Admiral Thorne convened his senior staff in the damaged ready room. Hull patches covered blast damage while emergency lighting cast shadows across tactical displays, showing fleet status and casualty reports. Intelligence assessment. He began without preamble. Voss activated her analysis display, highlighting communication, intercepts, and tactical observations. The Celestial Mandate possessed detailed advanced knowledge of our operational procedures, ship specifications, and tactical doctrine. This represents the 4th engagement where enemy forces demonstrated systematic preparation for our specific capabilities. Pattern analysis. Consistent intelligence sharing across multiple hostile powers, Admiral, the Kethet and the arms dealers, and now the Celestial Mandate, all demonstrated knowledge that requires access to classified operational planning. Thorne studied the tactical evidence while considering strategic implications. Commander, Blackwood, assessment of their territorial claims, legally questionable. Admiral, the boundary agreements they referenced aren't included in our diplomatic database. If Earth has negotiated new territorial arrangements, we haven't received notification. The communication delays of frontier operations meant diplomatic changes occurred without field commanders receiving updated guidance. Critical decisions were made using information that might be months obsolete. Major Steele, boarding action analysis. Steele consulted his tactical report while reviewing marine casualty statistics. They knew our ship layouts. Admiral, boarding teams moved directly toward critical systems without reconnaissance. Someone provided them with detailed structural plans. Casualties. Sergeant Rodriguez died defending the engineering spaces on Storm's End. 3 Marines killed on Iron Resolve. 8 wounded across the fleet. They fought with fanatical determination and superior tactical knowledge. Cross-reported medical implications while monitoring wounded crew members in the expanded medical bay. 15 confirmed dead. Admiral, the casualties include Lieutenant Commander Hayes, Chief Petty Officer Kim, Petty Officer Nakamura, and 12 others. Medical supply consumption exceeded emergency reserves. The personal cost of frontier warfare extended beyond statistics to the loss of expertise and experience that couldn't be replaced without returning to Earth for personnel assignments. Engineering status. Thorne asked. Einright's assessment reflected the cumulative damage from multiple engagements. 3 ships require major structural repairs. Admiral, weapon systems degraded across the fleet. We've consumed 60% of our ammunition reserves and 40% of fuel supplies. Operational timeline, 2 weeks maximum before we require resupply for continued operations. Storm's End needs shipyard facilities for proper structural work. Stellaris provided navigation analysis while coordinating fleet movement toward emergency resupply facilities. Altair Station is 6 days distant at current fleet speed. No guarantee they'll have the supplies we need for full operational restoration. The tactical situation forced immediate strategic decisions about mission continuation versus resource preservation. Each engagement depleted irreplaceable capabilities while operating beyond support infrastructure. Intelligence Priority Assessment. Thorne ordered. Voss highlighted her critical discovery from the communication intercepts. Admiral, during the engagement I intercepted a transmission referencing coordination protocols provided by Allied intelligence sources. Before I could record complete details, our communication array took damage and the evidence was lost. Implications: multiple hostile powers are sharing detailed intelligence about Earth fleet operations. Admiral, this represents systematic coordination rather than individual intelligence gathering. The revelation confirmed Thorne's growing suspicion that their enemies possessed advantages beyond superior numbers or technological capabilities. Someone was providing comprehensive tactical support while Earth operated in isolation. Strategic options, he requested. Blackwood consulted his assessment. While reviewing mission parameters, continue current operations with reduced capability, return to Earth for resupply and reinforcement, or modify mission objectives to account for compromised intelligence. Timeline for communication with Earth Command: 70 days minimum for priority transmission. For months for complete strategic assessment and updated orders. The communication delays meant strategic decisions couldn't wait for authorization from distant administrators who lacked current tactical knowledge. Lieutenant Commander Crawford, Thorne said, addressing the Frontier Relations Specialist who had observed the engagement. Assessment of diplomatic implications. Crawford consulted her observations while reviewing the territorial dispute that had triggered the conflict. Admiral, the Celestial Mandate's confidence suggests they believe their territorial claims will be supported by higher authority. Their willingness to engage Earth forces indicates they don't fear diplomatic consequences, meaning either they've received assurance of political support, or they believe the strategic situation has changed to favor their expansion ambitions. Voss interjected with additional intelligence analysis. Admiral, the communication intercepts included references to divine coordination with blessed allies. This suggests formal or informal agreements between hostile powers. The intelligence assessment painted a disturbing picture of coordinated opposition to Earth frontier expansion. Multiple powers sharing tactical intelligence while operating under diplomatic arrangements that Earth Command hadn't communicated to frontier forces. Medical considerations for continued operations. Thorne asked. Cross provided her professional assessment while monitoring wounded crew members. Reduced medical readiness. Admiral, extended operations without resupply will compromise our ability to handle additional casualties. Current medical supplies last approximately 3 weeks under normal conditions. Engineering constraints. Ian Wright calculated resource consumption rates while managing ongoing repairs. Fuel and ammunition limitations restrict engagement options. Admiral, we can complete current mission objectives but face critical shortages for extended operations. Fleet capability assessment. Raven analyzed combat effectiveness while reviewing weapon system status. 70% capability compared to departure specifications. Admiral, cumulative damage and resource depletion limit our tactical options for future engagements. Thorne absorbed the assessments while studying tactical displays showing their position relative to mission objectives and supply facilities. The Frontier Fleet faced resource constraints while operating against enemies with systematic intelligence. Advantages. Decision parameters. Continue operations with acknowledged limitations, or abort mission and return to Earth for strategic reassessment. Blackwood summarized. The command decision would affect Earth's strategic position while establishing precedents for frontier operations under hostile intelligence surveillance. All departments implement resource conservation protocols. Continue mission with modified operational procedures designed to counter systematic enemy intelligence. We demonstrate Earth's commitment to frontier expansion despite coordinated opposition. Yes, sir. Additional business. Voss requested permission for expanded intelligence investigation. Admiral, I want to conduct comprehensive analysis of all communication intercepts since departure from Earth. The pattern of enemy advance. Knowledge may reveal the source of intelligence compromise. Authorized priority investigation. Lieutenant Commander Crawford, your preliminary assessment for Earth Command. Crawford had observed frontier operations under combat conditions that revealed the practical challenges of autonomous command. Admiral, the communication delays and resource constraints require decision-making authority that exceeds standard operational parameters. The territorial disputes and intelligence compromise represent strategic threats that need immediate Earth Command attention. Timeline for your report. 3 weeks for comprehensive analysis, Admiral. The diplomatic implications of continued frontier operations under current conditions require careful assessment. As the meeting concluded, fundamental questions remained about the scope and source of intelligence compromise affecting Earth frontier operations. The fleet would continue its mission while operating under the assumption that hostile forces possessed detailed advanced knowledge of their capabilities and intentions. The intelligence war had cost 15 lives and significant fleet capability, while revealing the existence of coordinated opposition that Earth's command hadn't anticipated when issuing standing orders months earlier. 2 days after the engagement, ESS Sovereign's Pride maintained formation with the damaged fleet as they approached Altair Station for emergency resupply. The independent trading facility represented neutral ground where Earth could obtain critical supplies without political complications. In the ship's expanded morgue, Commander Cross conducted final preparations for the 15 crew members killed during the Celestial Mandate engagement. Lieutenant Commander Hayes, Chief Petty Officer Kim, Sergeant Rodriguez, and 12 others would be preserved for eventual return to Earth burial facilities. The casualties represent irreplaceable expertise, Cross reported to Admiral Thorne during his private inspection of the medical facilities. Hayes was our best reconnaissance pilot. Rodriguez commanded our elite boarding teams. Kim understood our engineering systems better than anyone except Commander Ironwright. The personal cost of frontier warfare extended beyond immediate tactical consequences to the systematic loss of experience that couldn't be replaced without returning to Earth for personnel reassignment. Medical readiness for continued operations. Marginal Admiral, we've consumed emergency medical supplies, treating 23 wounded. Future casualties will strain our capability to provide adequate care. Thorne moved through the medical bay observing wounded crew members recovering from plasma burns, decompression injuries, and combat trauma. Each represented tactical knowledge and operational experience developed through months of frontier service. Recovery timeline. 8 crew members will return to full duty within 2 weeks. 15 require extended medical treatment. We're operating at reduced capacity across multiple departments. In engineering spaces throughout the fleet, repair teams worked to restore combat capability using salvaged materials and improvised techniques. Commander Einright supervised hull patch installation. While managing power distribution to damaged systems, Admiral Einright reported through the communication system. We've launched courier drone to Altair Station with our supply requirements. They confirm basic supplies available but not specialized components for major repairs. We can restore basic functionality but not full operational capability. Estimated operational effectiveness, 80% after resupply and temporary repairs. Storm's End will need proper shipyard facilities for structural restoration. The resource limitations of frontier operations meant accepting reduced capability while continuing mission objectives that required full fleet effectiveness. On the bridge, Lieutenant Commander Voss conducted her comprehensive intelligence analysis, while monitoring communication frequencies for evidence of continued enemy surveillance. Admiral, she reported when Thorne returned to command, I've identified systematic patterns in enemy advanced knowledge across 4 separate engagements. Someone with access to our operational planning has been providing detailed intelligence to multiple hostile powers, evidence, communication protocols, tactical timing, target selection, and defensive preparations all indicate advance warning. The intelligence includes recent modifications to our procedures that wouldn't be available through normal reconnaissance. Voss activated her analysis display, showing communication, intercepts, and tactical evidence from the Swaking Depot, arms dealer encounters, and Celestial Mandate engagement. The enemy coordination extends beyond individual intelligence gathering. 2. Systematic information sharing designed to counter Earth frontier operations. Source assessment. Someone with access to classified operational planning has been monitoring our mission since departure from Earth. The intelligence provided to hostile forces includes ship specifications, tactical doctrine, and operational timing. The implication meant every future operation would face enemies prepared with detailed advanced knowledge, while the fleet operated in isolation from command authority. Investigation parameters. I need access to all fleet communication logs, personnel records, and operational databases. The intelligence compromise could involve deliberate transmission or passive monitoring of our communications. Authorized, complete investigation. Lieutenant Stellaris coordinated approach procedures as the fleet neared Altair Station. The independent facility operated under neutrality agreements that prohibited interference with legitimate trade operations. Admiral, courier drone response from Altair Station confirms docking availability. They acknowledge our supply requirements and estimate 12 hours for complete resupply operations. Acknowledged. Admiral, through the main viewport, Altair Station appeared as a massive cylinder rotating to generate centrifugal force for its trading facilities. Multiple alien ships docked at various levels while cargo shuttles moved between vessels and station warehouses. Station configuration analysis. Thorne requested. Raven studied the tactical situation while monitoring potential threats. Multiple ships from various powers, Admiral, including vessels from the Nexus Trading Consortium and Keth Dominion. No obvious hostile preparations, but the station provides cover for intelligence gathering. Security assessment. Major Steel evaluated station defenses while planning marine deployment for supply operations. Minimal station security. Admiral, our Marines can provide adequate protection for supply transfer, but the facility allows unrestricted access to multiple alien powers. The neutral status of Altair Station created opportunities for intelligence gathering while providing necessary supplies for continued operations. Docking procedures. Commander Stellaris Docking Bay 7 allocated for our use. Admiral Steadfast Supply will coordinate cargo transfer operations. As the fleet approached the trading facility, Voss detected unusual communication patterns between docked vessels. Admiral, I'm monitoring coded transmissions between ships at the station. The encryption protocols match patterns from previous enemy communications assessment. Someone is coordinating information about our arrival and supply requirements. Our presence here is being reported to interested parties. The intelligence implications meant their enemies would receive advance warning about the fleet's operational status and future capabilities. Fleet security protocols. Thorne ordered. All ships maintain battle readiness during resupply operations. Sir. Lieutenant Commander Crawford observed the approach procedures while compiling her assessment of Frontier Command challenges for Earth Command review. Admiral, the intelligence compromise and resource constraints demonstrate the vulnerability of autonomous frontier operations. The communication delays prevent real-time strategic coordination, while hostile forces operate with systematic intelligence advantages. Preliminary recommendations: enhanced security protocols for operational planning, improved communication, encryption, and strategic reassessment of frontier expansion under current conditions. Timeline for complete report: 2 weeks for comprehensive analysis. Admiral, as ESS Sovereign's Pride docked at Altair Station, the fleet began critical resupply operations while maintaining security against intelligence gathering by hostile powers operating under diplomatic immunity. The neutral trading facility represented both necessity and vulnerability, providing essential supplies while offering opportunities for enemy surveillance of Earth's fleet capabilities and operational status. The intelligence war continued at every level of frontier operations, from tactical engagements to routine supply missions conducted under the observation of coordinated opposition.
Welcome, traveler. We're glad you're here. Every story you hear is made with care and passion. If you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and check out the other adventures waiting for you on our channel. Your support means the world. Thank you. We hope you enjoy the story.
Humanity Galactic Frontiers, all rights reserved. This video and its contents are protected under international copyright law. Any unauthorized copying, distribution, or re-uploading is strictly prohibited without written permission. If you enjoyed this journey, please like the video and subscribe for more stories from the edge of the galaxy. Thanks for watching, and stay curious out there among the stars.